This is Gail Sibley at the IAPS convention in Albuquerque, and I'm with Chris Ivers. And Chris, I was going to ask you about methods. Your methods, how you get started in a painting, like, all of those good things. Can you tell us something about that?
Unfortunately, I don't have any methods. Okay, I know that a lot of artists have, steps of let's start with the hard pastels, let's go to the soft pastels, let's use the pencils only when we have to. Don't use black. Oh my God, don't do that. Of course, that's not my world, as everybody knows. So I really never had any methods or rules. I picked up whatever pastel I felt was going to do the job and never looked back. And I'm asked quite often, do you have, a certain set of parameters as far as your composition or your choice of subject matter? And I don't. Because I need to be free to explore. And that's a big thing with me, because I get bored easily. And if I try to stick to some tried and true, oh, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this, let's do that, then I'm just gonna not paint. I'm just not gonna paint. The only things that I ask of my students or suggest that they do to help them paint better is to have a good foundation in drawing. And I have many students who basically want to paint because they love the color. They want to take those sticks and put them all across those papers. And yes, that's very exciting, but it's sort of like building a house with a bad foundation. Everything's going to fall apart, and then they get frustrated, and then they don't want to paint. And so I have to talk them into, I have developed a grid system that a lot of my peers think is crazy, but it helps those who haven't had a foundation in drawing to learn how to scale their reference material to the paper that they're using, or the boards that they're using. And so I found it successful for a lot of people who didn't have a foundation in drawing. So I'm sort of a stickler on let's start with a good foundation. My other request is to study temperature, which is really, really hard for any teacher to teach, because it's all relative. And I don't care if you pick up this stick next to that stick, and this stick is, cool, and this stick is warm, and then you put down another stick, and this one's warmer than that one. And so it's very difficult to teach people who are unfamiliar with temperature. I mean, when I look back, I went to art school, all that tripe. And none of our professors ever taught us that kind of cool stuff, okay? And that push and pull, even in the darkness that I play with in my backgrounds of some of the night scenes, that push and pull of the cools and the warms give a depth to a painting, throws things back, brings things forward, and it's very difficult to teach. So I recommend that people sit outside and just look at the distance, and you will see how temperature plays in the landscape or any other part of your life. So that would be something that I would request of my students. Other than that, I just am a free soul. That's it.
Oh, that's great. Super. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Chris.
All right.